What's up, man? Where everybody at? Hey, I'm here to talk to some Chicago do's and don'ts with y'all. So y'all need to jump in that chat and tell me what y'all want to know and what y'all want to talk about. I'm gonna wait on some more of y'all to get online. Don't worry about it. Okay, USB. Turn that up just a little bit. What's up? What's up? I see it's one person here. Click that like button. Let's talk some Chicago do's and don'ts, man. What's on y'all mind? Oh, you gonna leave? No. But what's up? Now, if don't enough of y'all come on, man, I'm just gonna cut off and go to my other channel where everybody get on and interact. What's up? Hey, jump in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking, man. Let's talk Chicago do's and don'ts. Let's talk some more Chicago things. We can talk comedy. We can talk whatever y'all want to talk. Appreciate you hitting that like, bro. Hey, jump in the chat and tell me what's on your mind. Let me go live chat, not top. All right, I'm ready. Tell me, come on, we finna talk Chicago do's and don'ts. Salute, Brenda. So, matter of fact, I gotta shout y'all out, man. Y'all got one of my Chicago do's and don'ts is doing lovely right now, man. That Chicago do's and don'ts is at 600. Let me see. What up, Harvey World in the building? Shout out to Harvey. So look, this one, y'all got it at 653,000. Look at all them views y'all got that one at. I don't know. Can you see that? 653,000. I know it's backwards on y'all end. Salute to Harvey, man. Yeah. What's the word, Rick Sway? Hey, man, y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all in here. Get people in here with y'all. That blue light got the teeth looking crazy. It's crazy. Nah, hit that like button. Hey, so what y'all want to talk about, man? Let's talk about some Chicago stuff, man. Y'all really rocking with the Chicago do's and don'ts. Y'all rocking with the comedy skits. I appreciate everybody who here. I'm gonna need to get some more likes out of y'all. There's 6 of y'all in here. 79th Street. Hey, 79th, one of the worst streets in Chicago till you get to about Weston when you get on like that Evergreen area. But I done been over there a lot of times. Hey, TH, appreciate you, bro. Oh man, the Wild Hunters, boy. I used to be in the Wild Hunters all the time. So I used to have a teammate that we played football together at Inglewood High School. And Inglewood High School is on like 63rd and Normal Stewart, one of them blocks. But anyway, so what we would do is after school, we would take that L and then we'll take the L to, I think, 95th. Yeah, we'll take the L to 95th. And then we'll take that 95th bus on around. I think it's a state of some bus, whatever it is. And we'll take that up to 115th. He lived on like 115th or 17th off Michigan. Those was the times, man. But it's a lot of stories. It's a lot of Wild Hunter stories I got. I know a lot of people who lived in the Wild Hunters. I used to stay on 119th and Egerton for a little while. So it was this guy, I think his name D-Ice. He used to throw tournaments in the West Pullman area. And I also I used to hang out in Ragtown too. So I got some stories about that. What was it? We used to be on 115th in Peoria, I think. Not too far from Higgins Elementary. Hey, salute. I see you, love a girl, Brownie. But yeah, hit that like button. Y'all tell me. So, what do you want to know about the Hunters specifically, man? Y'all ask me some questions below. I mean, y'all could just tell me, shout out stuff, and excuse me, Brenda, I see you say 79th Street. I gave you a quick rundown about 79th Street, but you know it's more to 79th than that. I don't know if y'all ever seen Chicago Tupac. He used to be on 79th Street all the time. Rest in peace to Chicago Tupac. He was real cool, man. I got to meet him a couple of times. He was GD crazy too. So what else y'all want to know, man? Hop in the chat. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to reply to what y'all saying. My video out right now, if y'all haven't got a chance to see it, is Chicago Do's and Don'ts Barbershops. And then I got a part 1 and I got a part 2. So y'all can check that out when y'all get a chance. Let me see something. Trying to see which light I like better. Oh, that one ain't bad. I like that one too. Yeah, so what else y'all want to talk about, man? Jump in the chat. It's 7 of y'all here. I know y'all can jump in that chat. Okay, there we go. There we go. Have you been to Milwaukee? Because that's where I'm from. Yeah, I've been to Milwaukee a couple of times. Actually, I came through Milwaukee. I got a couple of homies now. Y'all know a lot of people move from from Chicago to Milwaukee. And so, yeah, I've been out there a couple of times. I also went skydiving in Wisconsin, maybe like, man, how many years? Maybe like 5, 6 years ago, I went skydiving out there. All right. So what's the do's and don'ts when going downtown? So downtown is safe for the most, but then it got at moments it's not, right? So the one thing I could say is when you downtown and you just start seeing a bunch of when you start seeing a bunch of teens start together, it don't matter the race. They could be white teens, they could be black teens, they could be Hispanic. When you start seeing a bunch of them start to gather together, move away from wherever they at, because even if they don't start no issues, the police finna start coming, breaking it up. They finna start dispersing them. And then when teens get together, you know, they immature too. So whenever teens get together, they gonna do too much. So that's one of the Chicago do's and don'ts about downtown. Whenever you see a bunch of teens about to get together, get away from them. The race don't matter. It don't matter if they white teens, black teens, Hispanic. When a bunch of them starting to come together, get away from them because the police finna come break it up. Somebody about to call the police. Kids be tweaking too much, man. I don't think kids should be unsupervised after a certain time, man, especially when they between the ages of like 16 and younger. Man, they be so immature doing a bunch of wild stuff when they get around. What's one of my Chicago do's for downtown? When you downtown, try to visit Bloomingdale's, man. Bloomingdale's Mall. If you've never been to Bloomingdale's Mall, it's kind of like going to a Neiman Market or a Saks Fifth. It got a lot of stuff there. Another do when you downtown, also try to visit the Water Tower. Let me see. What's a don't when you downtown? Oh, a don't when you downtown. Even though they're about to close Grand Lux, don't park in front of Grand Lux without paying for your parking or valeting. Because if you park there, you're gonna come out and your car gonna be gone. They towing it. When you in that downtown area, they towing it. I'm thinking of these don'ts off the head too. Y'all already know one of the don'ts. Never check it out. That work whether you downtown or not downtown. It's 14 of y'all here, man. Let me get some more likes out of y'all. Yeah, Grand Lux closing. I just said that. I appreciate you too, Brownie. I thought about the teens takeover. What happened? Yeah, the teen takeover that happened last year was wild, but it wasn't as crazy. And I remember we went downtown for 7-4-14. If y'all understand. We went downtown for that, and it was probably about 10 of us in our group, right? But it was like a bunch of other random people who came with us from my neighborhood. So it was probably like maybe 30 of us total down there, but we was broke off into sections. And I don't know if y'all know anything about like different hoods or projects, right? It might be 100 of y'all in the projects, but this 5 might hang with this 5, this 10 might hang with this 10, this 7 might hang with this 7. But then when y'all might want to go downtown, go out, do something, y'all all go as a group. I mean, y'all cool, but it's just like anywhere. If you a teacher who work at the school, you know all the teachers there, but then you got your teachers that you prefer to hang with. Can I get y'all to click the like button if y'all haven't? Let's go to some more of these questions. Grand Lux and closing. Yes, it is. Gold Coast and Old Orchard Mall was my favorite malls every time I used to come to Chicago and Gurney Mills. Yeah, Gurney Mills, Six Flag. That's a good place to go. The Gold Coast, y'all know they call that the Viagra Triangle, man. And RIP Duck. That's what the FBG Duck. That's what he got. That's where he met his early demise at. So rest in peace to him, man. I'm a Chicago transplant, so I be all over the city. I mean, I'm a person who be all over the city, so it don't matter where you from in the city. You can go all over the city. Like, even when y'all see a lot of my videos, them not videos I'm taking off the internet, them videos I'm actually pulling up and taking myself. Hey, and if y'all got an Instagram, I'm on Instagram. Matter of fact, I'm finna put my Instagram in the chat and pin it to the top because I want y'all to follow me on Instagram, man. Let me see. Hold on. Underscore 2333. And then pin. There we go. All right. And that's my Instagram. Matter of fact, let me do that again. Y'all got a lot of little questions in here too, man. I appreciate that. We definitely about to get this cracking. Okay. Oh, DMX. What's my name like having ass? Hey, boy, if you don't get your fat feet, Italian beef sneaker wearing ass, boy, your soggy sneaker wearing ass, boy, your mop water feet smelling ass, boy. Hey, don't play, boy. I definitely got them guns in them jokes, boy. And by guns, I mean gunning, like talking about somebody. Don't nobody flag it. I'm talking about some guns, and I got guns. Gary Diallo, Gary Dildo, long nose ass, boy. Let's see what else is down. Who's your favorite Chicago artist? I'm trying to think, man. Kanye West. Kanye, my favorite Chicago artist. That's my favorite overground Chicago artist. What mop water mean? Hey, trucker man, you ain't never mopped the floor. When somebody say you smell like mop water, you smell sour. Silk Oliver Miller looking ass, boy. Your ass look like a pair of Percy Miller shoes, boy. Hey, let's not go, boy. And I can't see your picture. Gary, don't make me go Google you and find you. I'll be able to find a picture of you. And once I find a picture of you, it's over. Hey, your name sound like you wear big jeans, boy. It sound like you wear jeans 2 sizes too big. Hell look like a cat licked it, boy. Let's see who else. What's way too safe? It's way too safe. I mean, if you know how to move, you know how to move. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, once it get dark, everything gets more dangerous. That's no matter what city you in. So once it get dark, it's gonna get dangerous for you. You definitely got to understand that. But way too safe is like, especially, and I be trying to explain to people too, Brownie. When it comes to women, women can move way differently in the city than men can, especially women who don't have people who active in the street, or women who have calm personalities. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. My bad. About. There we go. All right, let's see what else is here. Talk to me nice. 7-4, 7-4, 7-4, 7-4. If you know what's good, 7-4. Hey, do 7-4 mean what I think it means? Just say yes or no, bro. 10 years here. I never had any issues. And a lot of people never gonna have no issues, man. It's just I I think so. It's a song. They say you become successful when talent meets timing, right? And I think sometimes when you in Chicago, you become a victim when criminal meets timing. Like, a lot of times when these crimes happen, you be at the right place at the wrong time and they just get down on you. Like, when them people are able to get right up on you, is nothing you can do, man. That 50 Cent said it best. There's no time to stop it. No way you can cock it when niggas run up on you with them things out. Like, that's just how it be sometime when you in the city. It happened to the best of them. Skinny jeans with the thigh ass. Boy, you look like you wear thigh high boots, boy. I ain't even got to see you to know what you look like. Google away, long nose ass, boy. I bet you got a motherfucking nose that you can stick your tongue out and touch the tip of it. Fat nose ass, boy. Bell pepper nose ass, boy. Stuffed Italian beef nose ass, boy. Boy, your ass probably smell like a soggy fish house, boy. Stop playing with me on this. Hey, boy, I got jokes. Stop playing with me on this thing. Let's see. Yes, Ian, no. Okay. You was born in 74? Is that what you mean? South End, West Side. Yeah, South End, West Side. What side you? Hey, Brownie. There go my Instagram up there. Follow me on Instagram. Let's see. They ruined the city when that tour. Oh yeah. So that's what I might do. Chicago do's and don'ts projects and explain why a lot of the crime like that. So y'all gonna get an exclusive. Some of y'all probably heard this, but some of y'all haven't. So back in the day, they had built up projects, and projects was a housing authority. But well, not the real reason, but one of the reasons a lot of people say they call it projects because it was an experiment, projects experiment, right? So they moved a lot of people into there in low income, and the whole purpose of the low income, you were supposed to be in there until you could get on your feet, right? And when you look before the 60s and the 70s, before the WIC program came, majority of the black families, and I'm glad I got a big white following, right? Because a lot of people don't be having the right information. So before the 60s and the 70s, a lot of the families, black families, had the fathers and the mothers inside the house. Well, what ended up happening was they weren't hiring black people like that back then. And if you could get a job, you was getting a job like a janitor, you was getting a job as a cook, somebody who sweep up, unless you was able to work at some of the factories. But that's a whole nother different story, right? I don't want to get sidetracked. But so what ended up happening was the family would still need government assistance. Well, what the government started saying, well, it don't matter if you if you fall within the threshold to get government assistance. If you have a father in the house, we not giving you no government assistance. So, and they used to do random visits to check if it was a father in the house. This was like the 60s and the 70s, maybe the early 80s. So what they ended up doing was the father would have to go away for the weekends, because if the lady who did the house check came there and she saw any sign of a man living there, so if she saw a man's shirt, a man's shoes, if she saw any signs that the father was in the house, then they would take away their WIC. They would take away their government assistance. So if you look at it, that played a big role in tearing down the family structure. Whereas when they went to go give the white families assistance, they would overlook if it was a white father in the house, but they would stick strict to the rules if it was a black family. So a lot of people don't know that, and I'm glad that somebody mentioned whatever I just said. Y'all mentioned, I think it was projects or something. Yeah, Slick Ron, Slick Ron, you mentioned that, right? So I appreciate you mentioning that, because that's something that people need to know about the projects. And when they talk about the black family structure, it's 18 of y'all here, man. Click that like button. I'm dropping knowledge on y'all. Y'all ain't know nothing about the projects. But anyway, you got when we talk about projects too, a lot of y'all may know them already. You got the Rockwell Gardens. I grew up around the Rockwell Gardens. You got the Stateway buildings. You got the Hillards, you got the Ickies. I used to hang out in the Hillards and the Ickies when I was younger. I was way too young to be over there. I used to be saying I was like outside on the block around my neighborhood. I'd be going all the way down to the Michigan buildings, or I'd be going into the Hillards. Hillards, Rockwell. You got the Henry Hornets. Anything else I miss, y'all tell me. Then you got Lakeside right there, where Butter the Prince from. If y'all never heard of Butter the Prince, he a rapper from Chicago. If y'all look him up, y'all figure out more about his business. But he a decent rapper from the low end, basically, but from like 53rd and Lake Park or something like that. I got a chance to hang out with him before too, man. I got so many stories. It's crazy. Man, y'all better click that like button, man. It's 14 of y'all in here. All right, but anyway. Yeah, slick. When they knocked off the gang leaders, the city definitely went bad because they didn't have any structure. Now, a lot of people will say they did bad by knocking off the gang leaders. A lot of people will say they did good. I think it just depends on what perspective you're looking for at it from. But one thing I will say, slick, when they took away the gang leaders, they took away all the structure, and it was like a power vacuum. And if you look up any of the documentaries, once the head gang leaders started going away, that's when it started being a lot more killings. Like, it was just like, so one thing I don't like is people give the mob all the respect and they overlook what the mob do, but they'll look at the mob and say, oh, it was different. But the mob is the same as a gang, just like a gang is the same as the mob. It's just marketed differently by the police. The police don't market they call a mob organized crime, but they call black organized crime a gang. It's all marketing. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off, man, because I know a lot about a lot and a little about a lot too. So anything you want to talk about, I can bring it up. Um, but anyway, what I was saying is that hold on, let me grab your what, something about the gang leaders. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying too. I see what you're saying too. Talk to me, nice 74. Is 974 an area code or is that a zip code? My bad. Let me go back through these. When they knock, oh, okay. So yeah, when they knocked off the gang leaders, you 100% correct. It left that power vacuum, and that's why it was so many killings and all that because everybody started fighting to be in the lead. And then when you got a bunch of people trying to lead and lead their own sets, that's the power dynamic for chaos and destruction because everybody got their own set of rules instead of everybody falling under their own rules and regulation in their own lit. I grew up and out of banging roadie, but they are my lucky numbers. I even got it. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's a great lucky number. Yeah, I think Lyndon Johnson actually lived in the projects at one point. She had lived in Cabrini Green. I definitely forgot to say Cabrini Green. I used to be around Cabrini Green too. Had a bunch of friends who lived in Cabrini Green, and I used to play down there in they tournaments in the back, in the middle, not in the back, but like in the middle of the projects with the building around where the rims used to be at. And I used to play in the tournaments in the Moody Bible. When I learned about this, it actually hurt my heart. The system is moving exactly. Yeah, I mean the system definitely moving the way it was designed, but just because the system is designed like that, don't mean we have to move like that. I think one of the worst things about doing Chicago do's and don'ts is that I have to do them, but I'm not able to really add no nuance to them because I want to be informative, but I also want to do it in a way that that's entertaining. But to the core of the heart, when you look at most of my do's and don'ts, 99% of them, no, I say 100% of them. The stuff that I'm telling y'all is not a all the time, right? It's just like when you was young in school and they'll have you do a tornado drill or a fire drill. You doing the drill just in case a fire happened. A fire probably never happened in your grammar school, but guess what? If the fire did happen, you knew what to look for. So just like when we talking about the Chicago do's and don'ts for being on the CTAL, people not snatching phones from people every day on the L, but guess what? It's some people out here with good hearts who don't even really understand what's going on. Somebody may ask them for their phone and that person might be like, oh yeah, sure, here's my phone, and then that person dart off with their phone. So that's just a PSA I'm giving y'all not to get got. I definitely said Robert Taylor's. You saying you from the Robert Taylors? Okay, let me see what else is there. Weston and Jackson. Boy, you definitely not from Weston and Jackson, boy. Stop it. Robert Taylor. Gary, you not from Weston and Jackson. You got to stop it. Silk Run said, facts, facts. Yeah, they glorify the mob, man. You get all these movies on the mob, and the mob snitched just like anybody else snitched. The mob killed their own just like anybody else. The mob sold drugs like anybody else, but the mob don't get criticized for the things that they did. So when I actually look at it, it's only one thing I could see why they not getting criticized like everybody else, because they doing the same thing. Hey man, appreciate that. Talk to him, man. I appreciate that, bro. And I got a movie, Chicago. I mean, No Time to Play Fest, Chicago Hood movie, man. Check that out if you get a chance. And a lot of that shit, you be speaking facts, especially if you in the hood. 20, yeah, man, in the hood, like they got a saying, to be aware is to be alive, right? And so it's not so much that you thinking this stuff is going to happen every time, but like I just said, you got to be able to know what to look for. You got to be able to know, okay, this might come from it. This might go to it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really don't be understanding the fact that, man, if you're not really aware of what's going on in the hood when you're around that, boy, you can become a victim easily, because this stuff is happening, and it's happening, and it happened fast, man. Before you know it, you can look up and you'll be in a situation like, damn, how that happened? Because you wasn't paying attention, bro. That's how that happened. You got in the middle of that situation from not paying attention. All right, so let me see what else I'm looking for. Hold on, I was sending somebody my live to look at. Okay, and I appreciate that again. Talk to him nice. Uh, oh yeah, but you got, don't forget, Saint Stephen's was right across the street from the Rockwell Gardens. Like that's the area I grew up in. I used to play basketball in the Rockwell Gardens. My I mean, my auntie lived on the 10th floor in the Rockwell Gardens. I used to be in the Saints, grew up in the Saints. My mama used to stay on the 7th floor. Used to play ball, like all everything that go on. You know, we everything. I'm from Laramie. Okay. Oh, Jerry. So what year was you around there? Because I used to go to Leslie Lewis. I went, so a lot of y'all might know, but I might not know, but I spoke about it before. I went to like 3 different grammar schools. I went to Gladstone. I went to Gladstone. That's on Roosevelt and Damon. Um, Let me see. I went to Gladstone on Roosevelt and Damon. I went to Leslie Lewis. That's right off of like Laramie and North Avenue, not too far from that McDonald's. I can't remember that little side street. Um, I went to Grant. Grant is right there on like Weston and Adams, I think Grant is. They call it Phoenix now. And then what other school did I go to? I think there might be the 3 schools I went to. But my last school I went to was Wentworth. Got kicked out of all them other schools like 3 or 4 times. Then they wouldn't let me back in after the other one. Hold on. Let me get through some of these. I see everything y'all saying though. Damn, hey bro, tell me how they messed your car, bro. Uh the Yankson. Tell me how they messed your car. Yeah, but the system's done caught up through. That's why them Rico, man, it's so many, and I don't think they done with the Ricos in Chicago, bro. I don't even think they done with the Ricos in Chicago. It's crazy. Oh, hey, I think I went, matter of fact, I got kicked out of that school too. I think I went to Lady of Sorrows. I think I went to there. I can't remember what year, but I can't even remember the teacher name, but we used to have to wear like white and blue. I think we wore white and blue. And then I went there for like 2 months before they kicked me out though. And it was right on the corner of like Hirsch. Uh I can't even think of the street name, man, but it was right on the corner of Hirsch. Hold on. Let me try to find it, bro. I'm finna try to tell you right now. Okay, so I had pulled the street up before too, but excuse me. Okay, Hirsch. Okay, there go La Folly Park. I used to be up at La Folly Park all the time. Was it Hirsch in Austin? That ain't it. Where's La Folly Park? Okay. Bro, I can't find it, and I don't want to hold y'all up while I'm trying to find it. But my boy Travis know for sure. See, it's right here by Latrobe, but I don't see it. Hold on, is this it? Okay, so Christ Evangelist Lutheran Church. Okay, that was the name of it, bro. Jerry. It was Christ Lutheran School. That's the school I went to. I went to Christ Lutheran School. Um, it was right there on Lemoyne. So it was on Lemoyne and Laurel. Hey Gary, Lemoyne and Laurel. If you look it up, it's right there. Literally. It's a, Catholic school and a church right across the street from it. But I only went there for like 2 months before they kissed me out. Okay, kicked me out. I missed the old Chicago when all the hoods were separated by gangs. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So yeah, it probably was safer. I think you might be right. It was safer, and I get what you mean by safer because when it was separated by gangs, one, it was structured because everybody fell under one law, but then two, people wasn't venturing out without somebody knowing they was going to that area. And now when you got like them different sets, it's just like a person from 115th might be out west, a person from out west might be out south, a person from 71st might be over on 64th. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I know exactly what you're talking about. I Let me grab your name again. Slick Run. I get exactly what you're saying, bro. And talk to him nice. Yeah, man. That case, I was just saying this the other day when it comes to the FBG Duck case, man. Not only it's unfortunate for everybody, right? Because not only did Duck lose his life, that's one person, but then you got 6 people that's going to jail. Then you got 2 people who dead. So think about the family members that suffer because of that. Think about the kids that suffer. Think about the mothers, the aunties. So that case is super unfortunate on all sides, man. And it could have been avoided. That's the key part to it. The key part to it is that it could have been avoided, man. And they say the video is gonna come out at some point, but they say when you look at the video, nobody was even chasing that guy. So it's like you basically call these people down here on a dummy mission for nothing. And I feel like if he wouldn't have made that call, nobody would have even crossed paths on that, at least not at that moment. I know people who done did. Yeah. And when you look at it, man, that's why they always say they political prisoners, because even when you look at like you say, I just saw a video yesterday of a girl who did an interview. She hired a white guy to kill her mama that she was dating. The white guy got life in jail, and that woman is home. So you're right. It's people who do murder who get less times than that. It's people who commit murders and get 30 years. A lot of y'all may be shocked to hear this, but everybody who commit murder don't get life. Even people who did premeditated murders or murder for hire that don't get life. It's people who do premeditated murder and murder for hires who don't even get charged with it correctly. And let me see. I never heard of it. Okay, I wasn't safer. We just didn't see the That's a lie, bro. Because what's crazy is I looked this up. I looked up the homicide numbers of of back in the days compared to now. And the homicide numbers was actually more back then than they are now. The difference now is that you get to see them. So it's just like it feel like it's homicides everywhere, right? And it is, but it feel like it's more consuming to you because you might see WGN report on it. You might see Channel 7 report on it. You might see Fox report on it. Then you're going to see DJ Academics. Then you're going to see Vlad. Then you're going to see Truth Teller. Then you're going to see Trenches News. Then you're going to see Same Spit Different Face. So it just feel like it's more killings because there's so many people that are around. I mean, it's so many more outlets continuously putting them killings in your face. I'll check 1997 and I'll bring it back to you. It's wicked up there, but in Florida, ED and ED still tied in strong in the South part. What part of Florida? What part are you in Florida now? What part you in? You're saying exactly what I wrote. Okay. I don't see what you wrote, Jerry. Oh, you say it wasn't safer. Okay, I get you. It's cameras. Oh yeah, and I got a theory, man. My theory is that in the next 5 to 10 years, nobody will be getting away with any major crimes. Like when you look at it, it's cameras everywhere. So like even when you look at the when you look at the O Block 6 case, they use. Oh, what's up, Bowen Knight? What's good, bro? What year you was at Bowen, bro? Uh, when you look, I went to Bowen too for high school. I forgot I went to that high school. I went to Robeson, Inglewood, Bowen, and I went to Leo for a little while. So I went to 4 high schools. I went to 4 high schools and I think 4 or 3 grammar schools. But anyway, um, let me get back to my point I was trying to make. Oh yeah, it's cameras everywhere, man. So my theory is that in the next 5 to 10 years, it's gonna be super hard to get away with any type of crimes. Just based off the sense when you look at that the FBG duck case, they was able to look at them cameras and see them coming down the stairs, going this place, going that place, going through this light. So you might be able to commit the crime, but getting away with the crime, that's a thing of the past. Like in today's society, when you commit a crime, you have to really be prepared to do that time. You got to be able to say, hey, if I get caught, I'm just going to stand on that time. And I think uh, cameras have been put into society a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, to the point where we not even paying attention to the fact that so many cameras going up and the technology so good now, they can look right through your front windshield and get an HD look of you. Hey man, if you in here right now and didn't click the like button for me. I know y'all rock with me and I appreciate it. But clicking that like button is what tell everybody else y'all rock with me and push that algorithm. Um, Hey boy, if you don't put that like back, I remember Ryan Harris situation, girl X. I've never heard about that, bro. Ryan Harris situation. Let me look it up. Whoa, hey, that's crazy, bro. I ain't gonna even read that Ryan Harris online because I don't want to. I would do something on it later. Salute to the class of '89. Boy, I wasn't even thought of at that point. As far as the Ryan Harris situation, I wouldn't read that online right now because I don't want to read the wrong thing that don't go with it. But yeah, I'm gonna check into that story. I got it pulled up on my actual laptop and I'm gonna check it out a little later. Let's see. Slick Run. I don't know why. What's happening to the drug dealers? There are no more hustlers. That's crazy, bro. And Jim Jones got a song where he say, "What happened to the hustle, the nickel and the dime?" Like that's true. Everybody scam. It's a lot of scammers now. It's still some drug dealers, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't like it used to be when they was like. But I think as times change and technology change, and so I now this is just my personal opinion, right? I think most of the drug dealers, like the hard drugs, the crack and stuff, and not saying that this stuff not still around. I don't want nobody to get on my I don't want nobody to get on my live and watch this and say, like, oh, he don't know what he talking about. He's saying people ain't still. No, I'm not saying that people not still selling drugs. What I'm saying is that I think that just like powder cocaine was a thing of the 80s and in the 70s, that was the drug that the older people was selling. And then when the younger guys got into the game, they learned how to cook it and they started dealing with the crack. And then when the time passed a little more, then they got into the pills. And then Once they got past the pills, now boom. So now then they got into the lean era and the perk era. So I think it's not so much that people not selling drugs anymore and they just scamming. It's just they selling different type of drugs. So like um back in the day, we wouldn't think of people who selling pills as drug dealers. We'd just be like, oh, they just selling pills. But now, with the opioid crisis and all of that, they're caught. We'll say, oh, they selling drugs. But the opioid crisis is, what that is, man. Like they got a war on opioids, but not a war on crack. You know what I'm saying? They put them in facilities to get better. They put us in jails and prisons. You know how that go though. Oh yeah. So I remember that too. And that's actually with the Project Window story, that's like one of my cousins, that was his brother. My cousin since passed though, rest in peace to him. But yeah, that was his brother who got dropped. William Stevenson, true. Yeah, he real cool guy too, man. He had turned his life around. He had went to jail for a lot of time, for not a lot of time, but he went to jail for some time. Prison. He went to prison. He got out. He had started his own businesses. He ended up starting a bunch of companies, man, became kind of successful. But when you get successful and you stay around the hood, sometime you bring energy that inspire people, but you also bring energy that can bring resentment to you. So you may tell somebody, um yes 99 times, but then tell them no one time when you broke, and they'll be like, man, forget that guy. I ain't got to deal with him no more. But on the opposite hand, you may tell somebody yes 99 times and tell somebody no one time when you rich, and then people may just look at you like, oh, he think he better than, and it builds resentment. So I'm not saying that's what happened because I don't know what happened, but I'm just giving y'all some of the nuances since we talk about Chicago do's and don'ts. Now, look, a lot of y'all not in jump in the comments for me and tell me what y'all mean. Tell me some more things that y'all want to talk about. We coming up on, well, not coming up. We on 42 minutes. And then I got another channel too, man. I got to go over there because I told them I'm gonna go live. And if y'all fans, let me show y'all this page. I got a page called Power Book Multiverse and Cinema where I do breakdowns of Power. I do breakdowns of different movies and stuff like that. So let me show y'all what the channel look like. So that's the channel. So if y'all want to come over there and hop on the live with me, y'all can. I don't think it comes with bringing in conservative politics. I don't think that's what's going to change Chicago. Yeah, I like all type of movies, bro, honestly. But yeah, I like thinking movies because I like to try to figure out if I can figure out the end before it get there. I don't think bringing conservative politics in is going to fix it. I think bringing opportunities in there. You can bring, a lot of people think conservative politics fix things. The politics don't fix things. It's the opportunities that's tied to the politics that fix things. So when you look at the conservative politics, they may say, okay, we're not going to give you this, but they create more opportunities for jobs. That'll fix a lot of things. When you look at most of these crimes, all right, so even look at this, right? Let's not even talk about the senseless killings. Because when you look at the senseless killings, I always tell people you got to look at them like a civil war, right? That's like the red coats versus the blue coats when we look at gang wars. These are people who know each other from different parts of the neighborhood who don't like each other, but most times um where that dislike initially may start from is from trying to control the drug trade or trying to control the open market of whatever it is. So you can look at that, like anything in the world. America want to control the oil, and Iraq control the oil, well, guess what America gonna do? America's gonna go over there and bomb until they can control the oil that's coming out of there, or until they get a better price on the oil that's coming out of there. So y'all got to look at a lot of that. And I know some of these conversations be deep and y'all just be wanting to laugh, but what is Chicago do's and don'ts without breaking down the psychology of what's going on in Chicago? And so to bring in conservative politics without bringing in opportunities that do nothing for Chicago. Well, so you also see, and that's another thing. See, I'm glad you on here, Gary, because that's a misnomer, right? Um, you have to look at the situation, right? I just explained to you about what happened with the WIC and what happened with the government assistant. So just to give y'all a quick rundown if y'all didn't hear it. When government assistant first started, it was about 80% of black men in the house with their children, their women, and they were staying there. They made it a criteria that in order to get government's assistance, the father couldn't be in the house. And they would do random pop-ups and visits. So when they doing them random pop-up and visits, the father can't be there. So let's just say if it's January and they send you the letter that they're gonna do a random pop-up and visit. Well, if that person don't come to February 1st, the father can't be there. And the father would have a job, but the job wouldn't be enough to cover what he needed to do. And we seeing, and it's also another misnomer that black people are the highest percentage on government assistance. If you go look up the statistics from the official site, it's more white people on government assistance than black people. But the politics of it and the way they market it, they'll make you think that it's only black people on it and it's only black people sitting around it. We have free will to make decisions. You're talking about something from the six, bro. Hey, Jerry, this is what I wanted to. Yes, it is more whites on welfare. Just go look at the site. You can look that up yourself. Jerry, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You saying that I'm talking about something from the 60s, but that's not from the 60s. That's from the early 80s, Jerry. So you missing the point, right? And so a lot of people will be saying that, oh, all of this stuff you talking about is so old. Okay, Jerry. So this is for you. Slavery lasted 400 years. Well, guess what? Why do we have Juneteenth? We have Juneteenth because a year and a half after slavery was over, some of the southern states didn't tell the people that slavery was over. It wasn't until June 19th when they were officially told that slavery was over, a year and some change after slavery was actually over. Okay, now we say, okay, well, slavery ended, things got better. No, it didn't. So what happened after slavery was what? Sharecropping. What is sharecropping? Sharecropping is where a black person who was a slave for a slave master, the slave master will come to them and say, hey, if you go up north, you don't know what's up north, you may not find a job. How you gonna take care of your family? You can stay on my property and you can work my property and I'll pay you. So the sharecropper would tell them they're gonna pay them, but guess what the sharecropper gonna do? The sharecropper is gonna charge them room and board, which is fine, but then the sharecropper is gonna charge them to use the tools to work the land. Then the sharecropper is going to give them a small percentage of land that they can work on, but the sharecropper is going to charge them to use that shade of land. So when you actually look at the money, it look like they have a job and they getting ahead, but they don't have a job and they not getting ahead because the sharecropper is basically keeping them in slavery. So that went on for a little while. Okay, now let's just say that's over. All right, that's so long ago. Why are we thinking about that? Okay, well then you have to get into, after we get away from sharecropping, we get into Jim Crow. We all know what Jim Crow is. I don't have to explain that, right? Okay, so then once they outlaw Jim Crow, hold on, matter of fact, let me check, Jerry, let me give you this history lesson, buddy. Jim Crow year. Okay, so Jerry, Jim Crow started in 1965, so 19th and the early 20th century, that enforced racial segregation. So Jerry, I don't want to hear nothing about poor culture promotion or none of that you're talking about. We talking about Jim Crow took place in 1965. The Jim Crow laws were state and local laws introduced in the southern United States in the 19th and 20th century that enforced racial segregation. Okay, so when we talk about racial segregation, right? This is 1965. This is not 1855 or none of that. 1965, racial segregation, right, Gary? So what that means is if you a white kid who go to okay, let's not even say a white kid. If you're a kid, you got to be a white kid because it's racial segregation. But if you're a white kid who goes to Whitney Young, and Whitney Young is one of the top schools in the country, right? You may be a black kid who may have the grades and the academics to go to Whitney Young, but you can't physically go because of because of the racial segregation, right? That's one thing. So you can't tell me anything about that. Okay, now let's just say we end up moving past the racial segregation, right? Now let's talk about redlining. I'm sure you don't know what redlining is, right? Okay, and even before redlining, right? We can talk about 1942 when Pearl Harbor happened and they did World War II, right? When you got to World War II, all the soldiers that came back home, they were supposed to get a home, and they were supposed to get like some money in a home, right? But guess what? The white soldiers got the homes and the black people didn't get the homes. What's the best way to build wealth? It's in real estate because it's no more real estate. And you always most times houses always appreciate with value. They don't depreciate. You following me? You following me, Gary? Gary, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm using Whitney Young as an example to explain. See, Gary, the reason why. So okay, so you know what redlining is, and let me explain to the other people who don't know what redlining is. Before, let me say what I was going to say, Gary. The reason why you don't get the situation, I don't believe you racist or nothing like that. I believe that you just believe what you've been told to believe, but um it's not just a black and white situation. And I don't mean like black and white when I mean like black people and white people. I mean like it's not just straight cut that black people are lazy or black people are looking at something that was long ago. So let me get back to my thought of what I was just telling you. So first we had slave first we had slavery. I ain't gonna even go back to if you look up Kush, he was one of the richest kings over in Africa. He was black. If you look up Methuselah, Methuselah was of the same bloodline of Cush. And if you keep going back, you'll see what bloodline they go to. But David and all of that, you'll see. But that's too far back. So we went slavery. We went World War II, which was in the 40s, where the black soldiers came home. They was all the soldiers were supposed to get a home, but they didn't. That's a part of racism and segregation. We talked about Jim Crow. And then let's talk about redlining. I know you say you know what redlining is, but a lot of people might not know what redlining is. So redlining is when um basically, let's just say it was some homes in the area, right? And black people wanted to buy those homes. When too many black people got in that area, what they would do is they would draw a red outline around it, and the banks would refuse to give loans to those black people. So let's just say if you was a black person and you were working at a factory, you were making back in that time, let's just say you were making 40,000 a year and you had $5,000 in the bank. They would deny you the loan if you were black. But if you were white and you were making $20,000 a year and you had $1,000 in the bank, they were more likely, and they would in most cases, give you that loan. And also, the way a lot of those areas became bad areas is because they would circle it in. And even when white people was like, oh, the property value is much lower over here, I want to move over here, they wouldn't give white people loans to move in certain areas. Now, Gary, how does that hurt things? Because when you look at the state tax and the things that go into the schools, it comes from the taxes that the people pay. So if you living in a place that one has been racially segregated, that's two has been denied money, and it don't have the economic stability as some of them other places that are outside of the red line, where that neighborhood is definitely gonna go down. Now, Gary, let's talk about drugs. Guess who was giving the drugs to Freeway Ricky Ross in California? The CIA. Let's talk about the black leaders who were trying to change things. Guess what? It came out that the feds, the FBI was the ones who killed Martin Luther King. The police were the ones who killed Fred Hampton. These were people who were trying to do things in the black community. When you talk about the pantry and you talk about giving out of free food, yeah, everybody want to say that the government started that, but guess where it started with? It started with Henry P. Newton and the Black Panther. So Gary, the stuff you're saying, you're giving people, no, it's not a self-fulfilling prophecy, Gary. The problem is that you don't want to face the problem. Now, I'm not saying that because somebody pushed you down and you sprain your ankle, you supposed to lay there and wait on somebody to pick you up. What's good? What's good, bro? What's good? Yeah, hop in, bro. Hop in. Interject what you need to interject in. So anyway, as I'm saying, slippery beats. I'm saying exactly what you talking about right now. So hold that thought. I'm not saying that if somebody push you down and you sprain your ankle, you supposed to stay there and you're not supposed to pick yourself up. But also at the same time, the person can't blame me for walking slower and they the one who pushed me down and sprained my ankle. You can't you can't push me down and sprain my ankle and start running and then say, hey, why you not keeping up? You need to run faster. It wasn't decades ago though, and that's the problem with slippery beats. Who said it was? See, and that's why this conversation don't get the nuance it need, because everybody keep trying to say it's a great quote by Martin Luther King, where he say, yeah, you supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but what if you don't have boots on? Like, how you supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps if you don't have boots on? Um, I know you are. I definitely know you are. Slippery beats. My bad. I definitely know you black, bro. And it's, but let me see. Sam D. Education and access to education is key, and that's 1000% true. But it's a lot of people who not getting that access to education. Hey, slippery beats, can you please stop saying no excuses? Like, okay, so when you look at this, slippery beats, do I look like a person who making excuses? I got a YouTube page that's monetized. I got another YouTube page that's monetized. I do comedy. I actually got three YouTube pages that's monetized. So I'm in no way, shape, or form somebody who's saying we at this point in our life and we should be given something. I'm never saying that we should be given something. I'm never saying that we should be given anything but a fair opportunity. That's the problem with a lot of black people. We are always making excuses. See, and see, I don't even like when you say that, slippery beats, because you give the excuses. It's not an excuse. Slavery did happen. Jim Crow did happen. Redlining did happen. Um, when I spoke, you missed earlier when I was in his slippery beats when I was talking about how, like, once welfare started, the father wasn't allowed to be in the house during the welfare process, and so the father would have to be out the house for months at a time. Yeah, but I didn't go through that. But guess what? Um, I didn't go through that, but my ancestors went through that. And guess what? I didn't just I went through the drug era. So I didn't go through that, but I definitely went through the crack era. And guess who brought the crack in? The CIA. And guess what the crack did? The crack tore down the black community. So yeah, see, like, slippery beats. I appreciate you being here, right? So my father, he from Jackson, Mississippi. We know the story about Jackson, Mississippi. My grandmother, she from Forest City, Mississippi, and she moved to Chicago. And my mother grew up in Chicago, and my father from Mississippi, but he moved to Chicago. Hey, but that's not see, and this be and this be the problem, right? This is the problem. This is the problem why we can never get ahead because we pointing the finger at each other, right? So let me give you an example, slippery beats, and I'm gonna try to pick a good example to give you, right? So if I came to your house and I'm trying to think of a good example, bro. I want to think of a good example that'll catch you and that you will be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so slippery beats. If I came to your house and I took all the doors off the hinges, right? Every door off the hinge, and then you told me you came into work the next day and you said I can't sleep because it's cold inside. And then I told you, well, why you didn't find a new door to put on your house? Or I told you why you didn't lay her up. Well, guess what? You shouldn't have to find a new door because I shouldn't have taken your doors. So, yes, it's no excuses, and you still would have to go to work and you still would have to perform. But I can't act like I didn't contribute to your issues that you have, and which is lack of sleep, which would be lack of performance and all of that. So, I mean, you got things right. And like I just said, I'm never one of them people who's sitting around and saying, oh, we need this and we need that. Because as you see, when I'm sitting on here talking, I'm talking to you on a YouTube page. So that lets you know that I'm trying to do things out of the ordinary to push myself ahead and to make a name for myself. And you see the type of following that I've grew for myself just through doing social media. On my Instagram, I got 65,000 followers. When you look at my independent movie I did, No Time to Play Fair, part one got 263,000 views. Part two got about 46,000 views. That's been out a month. So it's not so much. So I had posted something on Facebook a couple of days ago, and I said compassion for the hopeless and homeless because they've been through enough. So when we look at it, slippery beats. You may be the type of person who's strong enough to go through anything and pull yourself up, right? But you can't blame the person who not strong enough to pull themselves up. What you should be is you should be somebody to help pull them up. You shouldn't, and now I'm not saying that you should baby them or coddle them, but you should be able to understand that, yo, what I was strong enough to get through, this person ain't strong enough to get through. So maybe I can get them advice. Maybe I can show them a different way. Now, I'm not saying you got to carry a whole a hand through their entire life, but you got to have compassion for people who went through certain things. But hey, I will, hey, slippery Benz. I think I would love for you to follow me on Instagram, and then me and you, we should find a way to have this debate live, or we should find a way to record this debate maybe on Zoom and put it up, because I think you making some really good points, but I think also at the time you also pointing out kind of like a sort of selfish mentality of like me, and you not looking at it's a lot of trauma that come with certain things that people went through. And yeah, a lot of this stuff was long ago, but a lot of this stuff wasn't long ago. If you look at the pandemic, we saw a black person shot probably every month during the pandemic. So it got so bad during the pandemic of black people being shot until the point that white people started marching with black people and saying, wait, this can't be right. So I'm looking at this. Why would I have compassion? Because bro, each one teach one, right? Just like you got to look at this, you got to look like when y'all look at some of these cartoons, man, they be having real messages in them, right? So slippery bends, you may not have compassion for somebody, and I always say this, right? You may see a 10-year-old on the corner selling water, and you may be able to stop and have a little conversation with them. or you may see a 12-year-old out doing something in your hood he ain't supposed to do. And you may step out and say, hey, little bro, come here, let me holler at you. And you ask him what he doing. You may give him a couple of dollars. Hey, bro, go grab you something to eat. Now, I'm not saying every interaction is going to be right, or I'm not saying you're going to be able. I'm talking to Slippery right now, Gary. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to pull every person to the side, because you're not. But what I am saying is that if you able to do that and you able to pull that person to the side, you will have to be able to I apologize. I was turning that light back on. I'm not saying that you're gonna be able to pull every person to the side, but if you are able to pull that person to the side, you don't understand that when it comes to the youth, bro, when we don't help the youth and we leave the youth alone, them kids that we leaving alone, they have to go out in the world and interact with our kids at some point. That child may come in, that child that you neglected may come in contact with your niece, may come in contact with your son, may come in contact with your grandson. So a lot of times, man, we got to get back to being a community, man. And I ain't just talking about blacks, I ain't talking about whites, I'm talking about everybody. We got to get back to being a community, man, because when these kids that we feel like can't be taught nothing and we just letting them run around wild, what you think gonna happen when they run into somebody in your family? And now the first thing you doing is you crying, oh, my baby never did nothing to nobody. Why did this happen? Why did they? So when these kids are in different neighborhoods, whether they in the mob or whether the kids are in gangs or whether they in the mob, no matter what they doing, when they in your neighborhood, don't you know that these kids are running into your kids? These kids are running into your nephews. They not just in the neighborhood doing nothing. Let me get back to some more of y'all commentary. Woke white people aren't your friends. I don't agree with that either. I think sometimes, but I'm not speaking about woke white people. And Gary, you assuming that I'm a Democrat. You can't assume that. You can't assume that I just agree. I don't agree with a lot of things that Biden do, and I get a lot of flack for saying that, Trump did some things I like. Now, did Trump do some of those things for the right reason or the wrong reason? I believe he did them for the wrong reason. But do I care if you did something for the wrong reason if it got good results? Like if you were to go right now and pass out 1,000 blankets because it's cold outside to the homeless people, or you put up 1,000 tents and you had somebody record it. Do I think that's the right thing to do, to record them? No. But do I think that you did something great? Of course. Like two things can be the same. And a lot of times when we look at this stuff, we just kind of look at people and we try to put them on one side or the other. Somebody can do something wrong for the right reason, and some people can do something right for the wrong reason. Sometimes you do the right thing and you get the wrong result. God damn, why I'm having such a hard time saying that word. Hey man, I appreciate the 11 of y'all who still here, and 10 now, and the 20 likes. If y'all still here, click that like button. Now, when y'all thinking about the Chicago do's and don'ts, man, y'all may say, y'all may think that this conversation don't got nothing to do with the Chicago do's and don'ts. But one thing y'all got to understand is when people came from the South, they heavily came to Chicago. So when we look at the conditions that Chicago is in now, they come from the neglect. If y'all look up Bronzeville, look up the Bronzeville area. Bronzeville was one of the most prominent black areas in Chicago, right? But the Italians ended up coming through Chicago. Not all the Italians, but some of the Italians attached to some organizations. They used to come through the Bronzeville area, and they would shoot windows out houses, and they would try to run people out of that area, and they would close the stores. And for you, Slippery Benz, like I said, bro, follow me on Instagram. We got to do some work together, even if it's just one debate we do back and forth. Look at what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So let me see something. Black bombings in America. And those weren't all back in the day. So that was 1921, the Tulsa Race Massacre. So 1921, the Tulsa Race Massacre, where It was a self-sustaining black neighborhood. They had black doctors, black lawyers. They had black airplanes. They had black owned airports. They everybody owned their own house in there. And what happened? They came through there and bombed that. Was that so? Let me ask y'all a question. Slippery Bens. Let me ask you a question. The bombing of Tulsa, was that hundreds of years ago? Was that decades and decades and decades and decades ago? Or was 1921 not too far away? And do you think that the Tulsa bombing played a huge figure on America? I wish I had a way to put these. What about the Carol Robertson Center, the 16th Street Church bombing that happened in 1963? I used to go to the Carol Robertson Center, which is located on Roosevelt and Damon. And it's named after one of the girls who was killed in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. That was 1963, and that was done only because of race. So I mean, when we saying a lot, hey, salute to you, bro. I ain't mad you a MAGA guy. No, I was. Oh yeah, I ain't mad you a MAGA guy, bro. Salute to you. Okay, so okay. What about the bombing in Philadelphia of 1985? See, and that. Oh damn, I just almost effed up, y'all. Philly bombing. 19. Okay, so what about the Philly bombing of 1985? Slippery Beats. Tell me that. Yeah, I've been to Alabama a lot, man. It's a crazy place, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. And I don't have a victim mentality, but I also come from the environments where I understand some of the things that people went through. And I also understand that if I didn't have some of the mentors and I didn't have some of the different things that I have and was able to come in contact with, I understand the path that I would be on and I understand where I would be at in life. Bro, I am not moving and this shadow keep moving behind me. It's crazy. And it's not my hat either. Hey, y'all look behind me on the right side. Look, there go that y'all see that shadow moving again? Look, you think it's my hand moving, but it's not because one look, there it go again. You see it right there. And then look, that's crazy. Hey, do y'all see that on my tripping? I'm not moving the chair, nothing. And there's nothing hanging up behind me either. My arms is down. All right, never mind. Hey, I just asked you a question, bro. What do you think about the bombing of 1985? You said that's decades and decades and decades ago. So what about the bombing of 1985? It was a self-sustaining black Philadelphia neighborhood. What do you think about that? Or what about the neighborhood that they owned in on my life, bro? I know I'm not the only one who see that. Look at it. And it's not my hat because when I move my hat, it's not making no nothing. Daryl Ellis, I ain't tripping, am I, bro? I said the OKC bombing, but Slippery Ben said that was too far away. He said that was 19. He said 1921 was too far away. But when I mentioned 1985 Philadelphia, he ain't had nothing to say about that. But hey, this thing got kind of too deep, man. Let's go back. Hey, man, let's talk about. Ask me some questions about Chicago, man. I got a lot of knowledge about Chicago. Give me some more Chicago questions. Hey, but Daryl Ellis, am I tweaking, bro? Please tell me. You see what I'm talking about, right? Look at that. Every time I point at it, it move. Look, I ain't all right, look, I'm not moving at all. Now look at that moving on my right side. I ain't moving at all. I'm staying still. That's crazy. Oh, boy, I ain't talking about that. Don't nobody care about Timothy McVeigh. Hey man, we gotta have a talk together. Bro, I don't want no spirits to protect me. I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. Hey man, that's all it boils down to, bro. Hey, Tony Cicero, is that because you from is that because you from around Cicero? I like the name Tony Cicero, man. That sound like a strong movie name. That sound like a movie lead. Hey, it's Tony Cicero. Hey, Tony from the Cicero family. Hey, I got another movie that I'm supposed to do, and it's supposed to be a black. Like, I don't even want to give away the premise of it, right? I mean, I don't want to give away all the details of it, but part of the premise of it is that it's a black Italian, a black Italian mob family, but they basically came because the mother met the father in the old country and back in like in Sicily. But that's all I'm gonna give y'all. But it's amazing, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Hey, none of it is an excuse, bro. I want to tell y'all this, man. The truth can't be an excuse. If somebody smash you upside the head with a baseball bat, and you tell your boss you can't come in because you got your head bust open, your boss can't look at you and tell you, "Oh, that's an excuse. You can come to work." And guess what? If you still having headaches 2 weeks later or a month later, your boss can't look at you and say, "Oh, that's an excuse. You got hit with that bat upside the head 10 months ago. You should be able to come to work." No, nobody can. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. Now, can some people use it as a crutch? Yes, but then you still can't be upset at the fact that this person is upset that they got hit upside the head with a bat. It don't make sense, bro. Come on. Hey, Tony Cicero, man, ask me some Chicago questions. I want to get off of this little part we on. Hey, I've been bopping the streets since Cadillacs had four flats. Tony, man, tell what street you been bopping, boy? Hey, Bronx Tale is one of my favorite movies, bro. Colurgio and I can't even remember her name, Keisha. But y'all know that girl is Keisha off Belly, right? The Hunnits. What part of the Hunnits, bro? You black or right? You black or white, bro? Because I never heard a black guy with a name Cicero. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you in that debate, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna smash you because I already see what angle you coming from. And so, in order to beat you in a debate, all I'm gonna have to do is have my years up to date to the present. Cause it's so much stuff that happened, bro. It's a little world. It's a little world. You Italian. That I thought you was, bro. Salute to my Italian homie. Hey, this how I'm gonna know if you really Italian, man. What's the best Italian restaurant in Chicago? You can and it's also one of the oldest Italian restaurants in Chicago. If you don't know it, I'm gonna have to take some of your Italian points, bro. I like that name though. That's like a movie name. Hey, if I have a movie and I have a guy named if I look, he don't want to get smart man, you don't want to get it wrong. So you said too many. It's Tefano's, bro. Right off, I don't know if you ever been there. Tefano's right off of Racine by the pavilion. Where UIC basketball play their game. JJ Fish. Boy, stop playing. Talking about Italian food. Hey, JJ Fish, boy. JJ Fish got some real good food though. Yeah, nah. Sharks chicken hidden, boy. I used to be going to that Sharks right there on 79th and Halsted. 79th and Halsted, and then right on Madison, right before Pulaski, I think it is. Them my two favorite man. Them my this it is definitely something moving behind me. Them my two favorite things though. Wait, what you mean was all Elmwood to eat? Explain that to me, bro. Baba's steak and lemonade. Come on now, man. You know that's anywhere it's a Baba's, it's a death trap. They got good food, but it's definitely a death trap, bro. Baba's is only in the hoods, and it seemed like they only in the most confrontational hoods. Oh, back in the day. Okay. Oh, so you saying you used to only go to Elmwood to eat? Pay less shoes. I'm not even finna go there with you, bro. Leatherface. That's what I'm gonna call you. Your name, your name, Gary Leatherface Diallo. Dalio. My bad. Gary Leatherface Dalio. Leatherface. What's the word, bro? Hey, Leatherface. What's the word? Doc's Fish. I like Doc's Fish. He talking about Elmwood Park. I don't even know. Hey, but like I was about to say, man, I got another child, Power Book, Multiverse, and Cinema. If any of y'all trying to come over there and holler at me, I'm finna go over there and talk about some power stuff. You know, man, they've been waiting on me. And I got off on a little tangent with y'all. We was online an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Hey, man. Hey, Leatherface, chill out, bro. Hey, y'all. If y'all ever see Gary, just his name is Leatherface. Gary Leatherface. Leatherface Gary. That's what I'm gonna call you. Leatherface Gary. What's good, bro? Hey, but I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. And me and you gonna the original home run in, bro. That's you can't beat that, bro. That the original home run in and Giordano's, them the best out here, bro. But I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Hey, Chicago do's and don'ts. On that car,